Patreon member shout out. What's new, Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you. We're gonna solve that mystery. I see you, Scooby-Doo. The trail leads back to you. What's a Scooby-Doo? Na 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 na. Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. So, I was on a Twitter space before. I not 100% who, I guess it was hosted by Lenny Kiddix, Silent Secure, and somebody else. And there was a guy named David Scarlatescu on there who had gone on and had written actually a couple of things about his concerns for Veve and Omi. I'm going to read a couple of them now. And then I'll just do my rebuttals to them because they are legitimate concerns. And I think they do reserve their time in the spotlight instead of just talking to 70-something people. This could reach maybe a couple thousand. And then just my own personal opinions, my own rebuttals, and maybe I'll make a live about this. I'm not 100% sure. Withdrawals. My first concerns, before even investing in Veve, was that there was no way to withdraw money or convert your gems. They've done this because they want to keep money in the platform and in the NFTs, therefore growing the market cap. The danger with this is that prices will continue to rise exponentially as new money is added in due to inability to convert gems and truly realize your profit. Long story short, they want money in, but they don't want to let that money leave. This is why we've seen such an insane run-up in prices. I watched this with NBA Top Shot. For nearly a year, users could not withdraw their money, and when they were finally allowed to, the market crashed from people liquidating and pulling their funds out. They continue to promise new platforms like Immutable, OpenSea, but when they do that, people will withdraw. A lot. Therefore, they will delay this as long as they can. So, my first opinion of it is that I believe in my heart, in my brain, there is nobody that wants MTL to be done more than they are. I get tired answering the same questions every single day. I can only imagine they answer that times 100 of what I do. Like, again, they probably should just post an FAQ. Hey, here's our most frequently asked questions. Here's our answers at this time, and then update it periodically. Every time somebody asks you a question, oh, look at the FAQ. And time understand something, oh, look at the FAQ. I think that would be a little bit easier. So I think that they want, and again, the reason why, not to cut this argument's legs out from under it, but there's been a lot of people, including some of my friends, that won't join until they have MTL. Plenty of people, which I guess now currently on the app, it is simple to cash out. It's not easy and sometimes a little bit dangerous because you have to watch out for scammers. You don't know who you can trust. But you can cash out for not really Omi anymore, but you can cash out for USDT, for Tether, Bitcoin, whatever it is. Venmo, that's how a lot of people have been doing that for this year. You think a lot of these people that put in money aren't going to cash out? I've cashed out. Again, not 100%, and it was for Venmo. It was for Omi. And the only reason I cashed out was for more Omi. So, again, I think that, just to counter some of his arguments, nobody wants them to come out with MTL more than the Akomi team. And not only that, but a lot of people, yes, there's going to be people cashing out. You put in $1,000, you come out with $15,000. Yeah, you're going to want to cash out at least some of it. Most people at classic investing, they take a little off the top and they take their original investment out and they let the rest ride. That's just what they do. So a lot of these people, I think they would take out that plus some, enjoy a little bit. On the other hand, like I said, there's a bunch of people that I know personally that will not get in this until they can withdraw. When is that going to be? I don't know. Probably December. But again, I'm just reading this just because I thought that was a good, just good arguments and then other good points to make. And the other thing with NBA Top Shot is that basketball cards in general, which not what NBA Top Shot is. NBA Top Shot is just moments. Basketball cards are really, they're in like a thing of its own. They're not like baseball cards. There's so many of them minted. They're not like Pokemon cards where they have one print run. No, there are thousands of these guys minted. And I would argue Pokemon's probably more popular. Jocks watch basketball. And how many people went to high school are jocks? A decent amount, but how many of them are nerds? A lot of us. Anyway, the Pokemon card market, I think, is... I mean, there's obviously some, like, let's say Michael Jordan rookies and whatever. Basketball's been around a lot longer than Pokemon. But current... Like, you don't see people beating each other up in Target for basketball cards. You see that with Pokemon. And again, that being said, NBA Top Shots has one thing. It has NBA. It doesn't have other sports. It doesn't have the amazing licenses that we have. Again, legitimate concerns, but I think the rebuttals that we can go through here are, they kind of make you feel better about that. It's like, okay, well, there's explanations for those concerns. Number 2, arbitrage. As a flipper and entrepreneur myself, I love this word. It's the ability to buy something here and sell it for more instantly somewhere else. When you find it, there's a gold rush and people flock in. Amazing, right? An opportunity to make money and demand increases. The issue with this is people start to get greedy and creative. Bots emerge. People now have an unlimited number of accounts. As long as they try for drops, they are considered active accounts. This heavily skews the true number of people in the space and the true demand. The more bots that are along with people trying to get drops, the higher the demand looks, while drops are selling in seconds. This drives the euphoria further and prices to rise with more based on this demand. Now, just going off the bots thing, bots were an issue for a while, and yeah, there's still some, but for the most part, the bot issue that there was, even though there were a lot fewer, there were a lot more humans than there were bots, but having said that, that bot issue has decreased exponentially. The amount of users, physical human users, have potentiated, and the amounts of bots that are being able to be let through have decreased significantly. There are very few bots left. Moving on. When NBA Top Shot fixed their bot problem, we saw demand decrease by quite a bit. It was still high, but decreased. This was the start of the gold rush moment ending on their platform. When flippers no longer see an arbitrage opportunity, they leave. I think that's kind of the opposite here. Take away all the bots, you're still going to have a lot more people in the app than there are drops. So you're still, for the most part, you're going to still make a lot of money. Flippers aren't going to leave just because you take away their bot. Okay, all right, you take away my bot. They're still going to try to get drops. Why? Because it's still free money if they get a rare, ultra rare, secret rare. Like for the storm drop today, for me, I think it would be worth it if you get the rare, ultra rare, or secret rare. If you get the common and you make $6, $8, I mean, is it worth it for you? Oh, maybe. All right, let's do the math on this. You go and you compete and you get it. You spend $50, and right then, as long as you know you got one, you can shut your phone off. You can do whatever for X amount of hours, and then what happens? You go back to it a few hours later, and then you see what you got. See what it's going for, and to make sure it sells, let's say they're going for $60, sell it for $58, right? Now let's see, 58 times 0.915, so it's 53. So you net 53. You net $3 because you paid 50 for it. You sell for 58, and take away the 8.5%, you get 53.07. So you net $3. Is that worth it for a couple? For me, no, but for somebody else, oh, hey, it's a couple bucks. Why not? If you get the common, you just pay $50 for the common. You'd probably lose money on that if you try to sell that, because there's just so many of them. Now, long term, will that go up? Yeah, I believe so. But a flipper is going to see that opportunity, and that opportunity cost, if you're a flipper and you have a little bit of money, okay, if you get a common or an uncommon, you basically consider it a wash. You lose a couple dollars, gain a couple dollars. It's not a huge deal. But if you get that rare, and again, it only takes a couple of minutes. You get the drop, which takes 30 seconds. You come back a few hours later, you have the thing, and then suddenly for the rare, you make $150 or $100. That's worth it for 3 minutes of your life. In my opinion, that is very worth it. And then, of course, you have the ultra rare and secret rare where you can make a lot, potentially over $1,000. So I don't really see too much argument with that, just because we have a lot of demand, even if you take away all the bots. Again, the amount of bots we have are very, very little. Now, 3, who are the users? I personally believe that over 90% of the collectors on Veve are hiding behind the words collector and community when they actually just want to make money, which there's nothing wrong with. Money's the main reason I got in, with like 5% being that I really like Spider-Man. Good for him. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money, but we need to be honest about the reality. This is dangerous because it leads to short-term behavior and drives up the euphoria gold rush further. People are pumping projects and drops that they have financial interest in. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. Okay. I believe that most users are fans of something, the same way I love Marvel, but let's not get this confused. Over 90% of the users are here to make money, so take away what they say with a grain of salt. As humans, we will say and do whatever it takes to survive when our financial interest is on the line. They get defensive when you say anything to contradict their value of their bag. So I do have a couple of issues with this, but I mean, he's kind of right. When he says, I believe that over 90% of the collectors are hiding behind the words collector and community when they actually just want to make money. One, yes, everyone wants to make money in anything that they do. But at the same time, I would really love where he got, like, did he do a poll on this? I would love to do a poll. I should do, I don't know how many people would be honest about that. But what happened to me, like, I consider myself mostly a collector. Am I an investor right now? I'm a short-term investor, and when I say that, I mean I invest for the long term with the goal of collecting really cool stuff that I really love. I'm an investor because I need to be, because that's how I'm going to help animals, that's how I'm going to help and change the world, and that's also going to help me with my collecting goals. So I need to be an investor for that. Other people that, let's say, their goals are just reality goals, and they just want, a partner and a kid, and, maybe, coach their kid's soccer team and be in a dart beer league, whatever, that's fine. You don't need to be an investor for that. You work your 9 to 5, you collect things on the side. That's what nerds are. That's what we've evolved from. We did that for no financial gain. I started collecting Pokemon cards because I liked it. People that collect comic books, they did it when they originally started because they liked it. And it turns into something that you can make a lot of money with. But I think there are a lot more collectors in this community than he gives credit for. But having said that, where he goes and says, let's not forget confused, over 90% of the users are here to make money. Again, I don't agree with that number. I believe that there are more than 10% here that are true collectors. But that being said, at some point, I'm going to cash out a lot of these. The original first season, which I will keep as a museum if Veve doesn't do that. But for the most part, I'm doing this so I can make money, so I can help animals. So yes, I'm doing it to make money. It is for a different reason, but so I do fit part of that, 90%. Even though there are some things that I just won't sell, like the couple things that people gave me. I can't sell or give away things that people gave me. I just can't do that. But yeah, everything else, yeah, it kind of makes sense. So I really would like to get into people's minds and see, hey, are you, maybe a Twitter poll, because people would be, I mean, they don't show your face, so that'd probably be a good idea. Number 4, there's 5 of these. Number 4, supply. This is a big one, and one of the main things that happened to Top Shot. The supply in Veve is arguably now even bigger than Top Shot. I probably agree. I mean, I don't really know Top Shot intimately, but yeah, it probably is. They are doing this because of the demand that I mentioned above. The problem is that the demand is skewed. Only certain editions are what the flippers are looking for, because that's where the arbitrage is. To do this, they have to create scarcity levels. Common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, secret rare, each varying in editions. There are now so many drops per week, and supply is flooding the market excessively. Again though, people can't withdraw, so they keep buying for the sake of buying, further driving up prices. It is in Veve's best interest to make more and more drops, creating their supply run. They make money every time their drop sells out, so why wouldn't they keep doing more? They are making money for them and their licenses and making a killing by doing nothing. Meanwhile, they're sitting here buying the collectibles Historically, in every market, eventually the supply will outweigh the demand. All right, let me break this all down because there's a lot I have issues with here. But there's something that supply. This is a big one, and the main thing is Top Shot. I don't think it's fair to compare Top Shot to this, even though same thing. They have new editions of each thing each week, whether they're packs of cards or packs of moments versus high-end digital collectibles. LeBron probably being really big on Top Shot, and in this probably certain Marvel characters. But again, Top Shot is just basketball. If they had something with just Marvel, I'd be like, all right, not everyone's into Marvel. Even you have the DC fanboys that probably would, at a protest, not get some of the Marvel stuff. But they don't just have Marvel. They have Marvel and DC. And you can make if they just had comic books, comic characters, not everyone's into that, even though the MCU it just makes ridiculous amounts of money. Anyway, they got everything. Yeah, it got stuff for nerds, got stuff for people like me. They got stuff for everybody. And not all of the brands are out yet. A fraction of the brands that they have are made. So a lot more people are going to come in just because, one, people that like the stuff they have already don't know about it. And two, they're like, again, what's Comic-Con? Comic-Con is filled with people that love to collect stuff. So I don't think it's fair. Like, is there a basketball con? I mean, March Madness, I guess, but anyway, I don't think that's fair. So the supply in Veve is now arguably bigger than Top Shot. Again, I guess I would agree. I don't know Top Shot intimately, but I'm doing this because of the demand that I mentioned above. The problem is that the demand is skewed. Maybe a little bit, but I don't know. So only certain editions are what the flippers are looking for. Flippers will flip whatever they can flip. It doesn't matter whether editions, if they... do they like lower mint ones? Yeah, absolutely. But they'll flip anything, whether they get a $20 profit or a $1,000 profit. They don't care. They'll flip it. To do this, they have to create scarcity levels. So he's making the argument that they're doing this to create the scarcity levels, or they're creating the scarcity levels because that's what flippers are looking for. That is 100% wrong. They make those scarcity levels because that's what collectors look for. They do, like anything. Like, why are there first editions of things and then not first editions of things in the next print run? Like in the Pokemon got it right in the base set. There was first edition, there was Shadowless, where it was pretty much the same artwork as first edition. They just did not have that first edition stamp. And then there was Unlimited. Slightly, it was like the same artwork, different coloring, but it was different. And that's what you like. That's what you wanted. That's what you wanted, that first edition. You wanted those chase cards. And even later, it worked out so perfectly because if you didn't want to pay 5 figures for that particular card in that high grade, you can get it in lower grades. Or you could just get the same artwork and just not have that first edition stamp. You could have it shadowless. Or you could have very similar artwork and just have it be really, really cheap. So, moving on with this guy. This is not a company really driven by money. This is a company it's by collectors and it's for collectors. They understand 100% that first appearance means everything to collectors, whether it's Pokemon cards or comic books, and then they have first editions, and then they, again, scarcity level. So again, this is for collectors. That I maybe like 1% of in their mind was, oh yeah, this would be really good for flipper. I don't even think they thought about that. The one thing that I think they would think about flippers would be that they probably just don't. I mean, not that flippers are bad. I mean, essentially most people are flippers if they flip at some point. But I think this guy's really underestimating the heart of the team. But moving on. There are now so many drops per week, and supply is flooding the market excessively. Yes and no. Yes, yeah, there's lots of drops per week. During, like, Disney Week, and that, like, we had drops we had multiple times a day. It was drops every day, and in DesignerCon, there were drops multiple times a day. He's right. There are a lot of drops, and I don't know how many of those drops that people really want. How many artists did I know? I knew 1 or 2 of the artists out of all of DesignerCon. Well, I know more now because I met them, but at the time I didn't. So he's right. There was a lot that was flooding the market. But it's not like, oh, hey, like Pokemon in the Rocket set. That set was printed into oblivion. Even the first editions. So that set for some became just like, all right, there's enough of these. But it's not that they're doing, oh hey, Marvel. It's not like they printed a bunch of Throgs, they sold out, and they minted like 3 times the amount of Throgs the next month. They're not keep reprinting those. They're not reminting any of them. It's always consistently new product. So he's right. Yes, a lot of excessive things are flooding the market, and even Veve said, Comey said, like, listen, you're not going to be able to get every drop at some point. Or it says now they're flooding the market. Yeah, all right, fair point. They are, but they are different drops flooding the market, so it's something for everybody. This is gonna be a long video. I'm sorry about this. I didn't think it'd be this long. Again, people can't withdraw, so they keep buying for the sake of buying. Some people, yeah, like some people, they just do that flip. Again, you start with a certain amount, it moves up. Okay, you flip, you buy some more things, they move up. You flip, you buy some more things. So yeah, I mean, if there's not much to do, I mean, why would you take the money out? Like, okay, if you're gonna put that into another investment, you're gonna put that into OMI, sure, fine. But if it's gonna sit in your bank account, why not just keep doing this? Why not just keep flipping? Again, that's it if you're doing that. Though people can't withdraw, so they keep buying for the sake of buying for the draw. And again, people can withdraw it. Again, gems, you're going to take a hit. So he's right. If people don't want to take that hit, then they're just going to keep flipping. It is in Veve's best interest to make more and more drops, creating their supply run. They make money every time the drop sells out, so why not keep doing more? I mean, they also want. How do you get? You have to set a good business sets expectations, and then you meet those expectations. We expect multiple drops per week now. At the beginning of this year, for the newbies that are here, we had a drop every other week. We had one drop every other week. I put it one more time. We had one drop every 14 days. Now we expected that, and then we had every now and then. Oh, there's a drop every week. Oh, and every now and then. And now that was consistent. And then we have that, and then plus a comic. So now we expect 3 drops a week: Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Usually, this week we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So yeah, that's what you do. They're not just gonna stop making stuff because we're expecting stuff. The quickest way to disappoint your customers is to fall flat on expectations. If we're expecting X amount of drops a week, and they say like, "Hey, no drops this week," you're gonna have some people that are like, what the heck? So yeah, of course they're gonna make them. They're making money for them and their licenses. They're making money for them, and their licenses are making a killing by doing nothing. I mean, yeah, some of the licensors though, they go and they do the, like Elsa. I think that was made by Disney. Like that was a design. Meanwhile, we're sitting here buying the collectibles. Historically, in every market, the supply will outweigh the demand. I don't know why he put in parentheses collectibles. Maybe because they're digital, digital collectibles, or they're supposed to be NFTs. But yeah, the supply, again, it depends how you do it though. Supply only outweighs demand if you do it wrong. Like baseball did it completely wrong. There's like 15 different companies printing baseball cards. Pokemon, you had Wizards of the Coast, and then you had Nintendo. That's it. That's the right way to do it. Are there other people minting Marvel NFTs? I guess Quid, they have those like Marvel tops or stickers or whatever, and that's fine. If people like, by all means, go. But you don't have other companies that are going and coming in and saying like, we're going to do the exact same thing, just like a diamondback top and a different variant. That's not happening here, which is very, very good. Veve's got, if anything, this is making me more bullish. Yeah, historically in every market, again, that's wrong, because again, in a lot of markets, he's right. Basketball, baseball, a lot of sports, there's just so much supply, not enough demand. But if you do it right, like in Pokemon, every single thing that they make sells out. So there's clearly demand. And nowadays, Pokemon does more print runs. So I really would like it if they would do a first edition print run and then, unlimited, but they don't do that. If they were to ever come to me and be like, hey, Chavez, we'd like you to come work for us, I would just give them some list of suggestions, and that'd be it. Same thing with, like, Veve is not reminting Todd McFarlane's. They're not reminting the secret rare Spider-Man. So that's what's good. That's what I love about it. Conclusion. All of this is creating a massive bubble and a perfect storm. All it will take is one domino to fall. The most likely is when people start getting impatient and want to pull out their money. I'm going to go this thing by thing. I do believe we are in an NFT bubble, and that doesn't mean that I think Veve itself will collapse. I think the NFT market at large will collapse because there's a lot of NFTs out there that are like, what? They just, I don't know, there's no utility, there's no purpose. Like, some of it's cool. Like, it's cool artwork. Like, I saw it, like, almost like an 8-bit All Might the other day. Like, that looks awesome. That looks so cool. Like, I would buy that, but it's not digitally licensed by the company. It's not digitally licensed by that. It was just somebody made a little 8-bit thing and they were selling it. And it was like, I mean, that's not really going to have any money worth anything in the future, because God knows how many they minted of it. Here, you know how much they mint. So again, I think it'll be a bubble for most other NFTs. I think we're in a pretty good space, though. I'm not saying we're completely bear-proof. NFT market takes a hit, we'll probably take a hit as well. I expect us to take a smaller hit compared to others, and I expect us to recover a lot quicker. The most likely is when people start getting impatient and want to pull out their money. I mean, that's been happening since earlier this year. People selling their gems and stuff. They will have no choice but to start letting people withdraw little by little. Yeah, that's true. That's what they're doing. They're going to start with a small beta tester group. They're going to go on, then groups of 25, 50, 100 people. Slowly but steadily, they'll, each day they'll get hundreds or thousands more, which is fine. Just like we saw with Top Shot, the market will go through a huge correction. I think it depends when it happens. If they say, hey, MTL's starting tomorrow, there's going to be a couple of things. In stocks, there's something what's known as a cross trade, where, hey, there's going to be a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers, and they cross trade. A lot of it happens when stocks go into the S&P 500, where they're voted in, and then a bunch of people that are looking to sell and cash out put it right again, because ETFs, they have to buy what's in the S&P 500. When Tesla went in, people had to buy. The only thing was, with Tesla, there wasn't enough sellers to sell to the people that needed to buy. So what happened to the stock? It jumped up in a crazy way. I remember that. It was insane. So yes, if they go and they mention MTL tomorrow, most likely a lot of my friends won't hear about it, or they're like, oh yeah, I'll get into it next week, or whenever. So there will be a gap between the time that people want to cash out and realize those gains, even though that's short-term capital gains. I don't know why they would do that. I digress. And the people that want to buy. So yeah, there will probably be a big correction when that happens. You see it already with Gem Squeeze when they announced Disney. A lot of stuff went down. When they announced Wall, a lot of stuff goes down, and then after a while, a lot of stuff comes back up. So yeah, it happens. That's Gem Squeeze, and that'll happen probably with MTL as long as nothing else happens by that point. If something else happens by that point, meaning they have they're on Immutable X, they could do OMI to NFT, or they could, that's probably gonna be the big one. They could sell that in OMI. That's what they're probably gonna do. Or again, on Immutable X and other people can. There's gonna be a bunch of OMI whales that are gonna be able to buy right in. There's gonna be a bunch of ETH whales that are gonna be able to go and buy OMI and then buy in. And again, they'll cross trade. So at that point, if anything, it'll positively affect the market. But again, at first, if they do MTL first before anything else, yes, that will have a short-term negative effect on that market. I believe he's correct with that. When whales who invested a few $1,000, all right, if you're a whale, you're not investing just a couple thousand. But I see what he's talking about here. And are now sitting on 6 to 8 figure Veve portfolios. That's a lot. That's hundreds of thousands to tens of millions of. I don't think anyone has a 8-figure portfolio, but maybe they do. Are pulling out their huge profits that money is taking out of the marketplace. I don't like making timing predictions because the truth is I have no idea what will happen, but believe me, it will. No project can run up 10,000 plus percent this quickly and sustain without a massive correction. I think mostly that's true, but no project was this undervalued though as well, in my opinion. Maybe Tesla was. I'm in no position to give anybody advice, but I've personally made profit and am sitting on mostly gems, trying to capture the arbitrage opportunity from every new drop, after which I immediately sell for profit. And that's the other thing. If you're selling to someone, like if you were trying to sell and you couldn't, that's a problem. I would be like, okay, this is not good. There are no buyers for this. But as long as you're selling, there's people buying. If you can sell it, you're probably good. So yeah. All right, where was I? Most importantly, I didn't invest more than I was willing to have to go to zero, and I suggest everyone do the same. That's a good point too. There's a bunch of people here that put in money, and I guarantee you were expecting to cash out quickly and pay and now they can't pay rent. So yeah, there's a bunch of people that are just gonna, I don't know if they'll take losses, but there's a bunch of people that are gonna cash out as soon as they can. Because again, you start with a couple $100 or a couple $1,000, and now you have $10,000. Some people have never had that before. When you have that, you're like, okay, bird in the hand, I'm going to take that. And so, yeah, I do agree with that. A lot of money is about to be lost, like it always does in gold rush moments. I don't think Veve will die, because neither did Top Shot. There are people that truly love the product, and they will stay. However, the current prices you are seeing are far beyond sustainable. Like with anything, thread carefully. I mean, again, I've said before, there will be peaks and valleys in this market, and the peaks and valleys in this market, like, yeah, that might be a valley where, you know, we're peaking up here. MTL is announced before anything else. Okay, that would make sense that a bunch of people are cashing out and maybe not as many people are going back in. Granted, I see more users coming in every day, and not including the couple of friends that I know that they're not poor that will ape into this, like 5 figures, like for each of them, which again is not a ton if you have 1,000 people trying to get out $10,000 each. All right, that's a lot. That's, you know, that's like $1 million. Right? 100,000. No, I'm sorry. That's $10 million. So yeah, I understand that. There's a lot more users than that, but I guarantee there's a lot more users coming in. So I think that's the only thing. MTL announced first before anything else. You will see a dip in the market, or you might not. A lot of people that are just sitting on gems, they might just be sitting on gems waiting for that, and that won't affect the market. They're just going to take their $10,000 in gems and just exit. But again, that's just my opinion, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But what you can do for more entertainment is go watch Star Helix, Kyle Willson, and Veve Vault on Twitter. And you can also, for more entertainment, is go follow at EQ_crypto and at Not Star Helix and at Hey David Don. They're pretty cool. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashy. Bye-bye, Dashy. Comment your thoughts and things down below. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I love you all. Goodbye.